Johnny here from BCRC. Today we're going to talk a little bit about shimming your diffs and diff maintenance, basically. So I've seen a few questions pop up on Facebook, etc. Why should I shim my diffs? What's it about? How do I do it? And so forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the differential here. I've taken off my Cross RC FR4C. So we're going to open this up, clean out all the grease and whatnot that's already in it, and then I'll explain why and how you shim your diff and what it means, etc. So you get a better understanding of how to do it, why to do it, and if you need to. So first things first, I'm going to put this in flat out mode. I'm going to take the rear cover off here. I'm going to pull the diff apart completely so we can get to the inner gears and the workings. Alright, let's rip into it. Okay, so we've got the whole diff pulled apart now, and we get to the point where we can see our pinion gear and our ring gear. Shimming. Okay, what is shimming? Well, if I can get the camera to focus on this little beauty right here. Focus. That is a little brass shim. Now they come in different thicknesses, etc. Generally speaking, your kit will come with the correct size shims for the diff. Sometimes you get extra shims, sometimes you won't. If you don't, go to your local hobby shop and pick up some extras. So essentially what you use your shims for is to space the pinion gear and output shaft in the differential so that it sits at a good distance to your ring gear. So what you do is your output shaft will go into the differential, into the housing, then your ring gear goes in. Now you can see as soon as I turn that shaft, everything moves. If I push up on this a little bit, which will push our pinion gear upwards, if I do that and then try and spin it, it gets notchy. You can hear the notchiness. Now I know it's a little bit hard to try and demonstrate all this while holding it, but you get a notchiness. If your gears are notchy at all, you need to re-shim your diff. What you want is a nice smooth output shaft turn, contact with the gear. Now it'll be really hard for you guys to see this, but in the right light you can actually see down in to where the pinion gear touches the ring gear, so you can get a good look at the sort of gap you've got there. So you want to make sure that you haven't got too big of a gap. You don't want your output shaft having heaps of movement in it. That's going to cause incorrect wear and tear in your diff. Odds are you're going to break off the teeth on the gear here or on the ring gear. And this is why we shim the diffs. Now, luckily for me, this cross diff's pretty well perfect in the sense that once I get these bearings where they need to go, I can drop the gear in, I can put my little shim on the outside here. Now what this will do, this will actually hold that pinion gear hard against the bearing on the inside, and it will give me the correct spacing that I need to get a good spin. If I can get this gear to sit properly. Just so you know, nothing ever works when you film it. When you do this stuff on your own bench for yourself without a camera, that's fine. So once that's all in there, spins nicely, smoothly. There's no slop. So what'll happen is you put your shim on the outside here, or the inside depending on where it needs to go. So you play with different thicknesses, etc. Like I say, most kits come with the right ones, but once you've got it where you need it, you'll have a circlip that goes behind it. Right. Now, the circlip, E-clip, whatever you want to call it, is actually a tool of the devil. With the right application of strength, you can make these a rocket ship, and they will fly across your RC room, living room, wherever you work on your trucks. So let's see if I can be lucky enough to squeeze this down without turning it into a rocket ship. I'll tell you what, I'll cut here, I'll squeeze that circlip on there so I can hold it properly and look at what I'm doing properly, and then we'll come back. Alright, so we have our E-clip back on the output shaft here with a shim behind it. Now, there is no movement here, none whatsoever. Everything still spins nice and smooth, there's no movement in that shaft, so I don't have to worry about it moving on the ring gear, causing any sort of damage. Now what I'll do is I'll put my... Actually, before I do, I'll explain something else. These bearings have actually got little shims on the inside of them. So you can shim the ring gear left or right as well. Your kit will generally say to you, and it should say, I know the cross kits do, shim your diffs, so you can make sure everything is set up perfectly. This particular diff will have one of these shims and then the bearing either side. Now, you'll get spare shims, like I've said, in a lot of these kits, which you can put perhaps 2 on this side, 1 on this side, that'll help move it more this way, 2 this side, 1 this side will move it more this way. Experiment until you get it so that once you put your diff gears in your diff, everything spins nice and smooth. Right, so that's the basics of shimming your diffs. Then it's just a case of re-grease it. Don't put too much grease in. Tell you what I'll do, really quickly, I will apply some grease to my diff. Grab myself a little tool here so that I can scoop out some grease. Right, now looking at this, that may look like a lot of grease, but really it's not. What I'm going to do is apply some, spin this around, let that pull the grease into the diff. You can see there it's pulled it all through. I'm going to put some either end of around the bearings, because I want this grease to work its way into the bearings. I want to have a little excess either side of where the axles go in and out, that way it'll sort of help keep water out of the middle of the diff centre. Alright, spread some through here. And I'll also put a little bit of grease either end of the axle. And that's essentially just a little bit of a waterproofing measure. Now, you can use marine grease. You don't have to use marine grease, but you can use marine grease. Most greases generally will push water away from it, so okay, we'll work some of that grease around. Lovely. Now we'll put our bearing back on our axle shaft, like yay. So that will slide in. That should sit into its little position there. Lovely. Brilliant. Do the same on the other side. Grab our bearing, slide that over the shaft. Right, everything's sitting pretty. Now I'll do one more tiny little dab of grease just on the top of these bearings. Again, that's essentially a waterproofing measure. Just helps keep the nonsense that you don't want in your diff out of your diff. Then it's simply a matter of putting both of the diff cases back together. And what I'll do is I'll put my little outside bolts here in, if I can find the correct driver. Lovely. I'm trying not to make this video too long. Don't want to bore you guys. Now, you'll want to Loctite these bolts. Because this is for the sake of this video, I'm not going to, because I don't want the video to be too long. But you will want to put a small drop of Loctite on these bolts. Don't try and over tighten them. If they're a small style bolt like this diff uses, do not try and over tighten them. You will either strip the thread, you will snap the top of the bolt off, etc. and so on, and that'll be your fault, not the truck's. Lovely. Last one. Then I'm going to grab my rag. I'm going to wipe all the grease off the diff and squirt it out, and then I'll I'll come back once that's all wiped off and clean. Okay, so our Diff's back together. I've put the shock mounts back on, etc. Everything's lovely. Nice and smooth. You can hear the ever so slight contact between the gears. You don't want it too noisy. You don't want it... If it's to the point where you can't hear anything, generally speaking, you don't have enough contact. You want the slightest noise. Lovely. Right, so you can see how much grease I've put in there. That's generally how much I think you should put in your differentials. Too many people put too much or not enough. I've got enough there so that when it moves direction, it'll actually pull some grease around with it, so I know that it's going to put the grease where I want it. So, last steps we have is putting our diff cover back on. Now, I will grab my little brush, just make sure there's no sand in those holes, no dirt. Now, these are my little diff bolts. In the top of the lid here, I actually have a bit of Loctite. So, I'm just going to dip the end of the bolt in the Loctite, just a little bit, we don't need heaps. Now I'm going to grab my driver and do them up. Now with bolts like this, don't over tighten them. It's just a little cover. It just needs just a little squeeze. That's it. Especially when you've got the Loctite there, that'll help keep it there. You really don't want to go breaking head off a bolt in a diff, especially like this. It's just a nightmare to try and remove the bolt. Alright, let's do this up. That's one. And then my diff is ready to go back in my truck. Yay! So, I hope this video sort of helps anyone out there that's a little bit stuck. So essentially, we shim the diff to move the output shaft either forwards or backwards so that the contact between the pinion gear, which is our little one, and the ring gear, which is our big one, is just right. If it's too tight, it'll be a grindy sound. If it's not close enough, you'll either won't have any contact or it'll be really quiet, barely touch, and you're more likely to actually round off the edge of the teeth or break them. So have a bit of a practice with some of your with a diff you've got at home. Pull one apart, give it a re-grease. It's always a good idea to do a bit of maintenance on your truck and help keep everything pretty. Give it a re-grease, have a look at the shimming of the diff. Look, once you've done it once or twice, it becomes second nature, and it's something that you'll check on all your trucks, and it's easy to do. So yeah, hopefully this video helps you guys out there that's had any issues with shimming diffs. Yeah, I really hope it helps. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, share and subscribe. There's going to be a lot more useful, handy how-to content coming up soon, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you next time.